guys, I'm Becky, my channel's called Beck Sews. Welcome back if you're a subscriber and welcome if you're new. Today's a Friday Sews and I'm going to talk about what I've been up to with you. I hope you're all well, I hope you're all happy, and I hope you've all had plenty of time to sew. Happy Friday. For you it is Friday around 6 AM because that's when this vlog will be coming out. For me it's Thursday evening around 6 PM. So I am coming at you with an actual chit-chatty Friday Sews. I feel like it's been a good while since I've done this. You will see if you've been watching my recent vlogs, I have been off gallivanting around doing some sewing social things but not actually doing any real sewing. It's been a busy few weeks for us sewists and for many other vloggers, as we have had Plymouth Frocktails to contend with, which was amazing, and I will link both my videos down below for these two things I'm going to quickly talk about. And then the Stitch Festival, and I managed to, I wasn't the best vlogger, but I managed to get some footage whilst I was at both occasions, and it's just been an absolute ball. And I must admit, after going to those events, I was feeling extremely inspired to sew, inspired to go through and rummage through my fabric. I have been so well behaved with my fabric purchases, or for me anyway. For those of you that watch me, you would definitely say I've been quite well behaved in what I purchased as well. I didn't go for masses, so hopefully that will mean that I can start getting through now. I've done all my big D stashes and all of that's gone to new homes, and this weekend all of my swap stuff's going to go on my sewing social table, which I'm looking forward to. I thought I could actually get on with some sewing up of the fabric that I've purchased. Now this fabric here, which is a make I'm going to talk about, is the only thing I've got sewn up since I last spoke to you. Obviously you guys know I got my dress finished for Frocktails as well. Now I showed you the final piece in the vlog down below, but I just want to quickly share it because I know you were watching me. I know in the run-up to going I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to fit me, but it turned out it fit perfect. It is the True Bias Laura dress made in this gorgeous Liberty fabric. So I'll pop a picture in here of the final piece. No adjustments made to this apart from putting in slightly shorter elastic on the recommended elastic for the shoulders. Everything else is as per pattern, and there is a lovely sew along for that, and I do recommend it. It is a fiddly sew, but it's not, I would say, too much of a tricky sew. You've got lining to contend with, and you've got shank button loops to contend with, but the sew along really holds your hand through the process, and the instructions by True Bias are amazing, and the size range is really good on this, so I do recommend that particular make. I'm not going to go into any more detail because you would have seen me talk about it previously. Now for a very long time I have been really wanting to sew up the Jennifer Lauren Handmade Farris jumpsuit. I bought it last year at some point. It's one of those, I love a wide leg, I think it really suits my shape, and I love sort of like a v-neck or a wrap over neck. I've got a chest on me, so I don't mind having anything that's sort of fairly low cut, bit like the Deer and Doe Sirocco made by my gorgeous friend Adele from Sofa Serenity that I'm wearing today. So I thought this would be perfect. I'll pop a picture of the line drawings in here so you can see, but essentially it's a wide leg, it's got a v-neck front with a facing button down, and then you've got a drawstring on it. Now what I will tell you is the pattern itself doesn't have a pattern piece to make that drawstring out of the same fabric, so I have made it out of a cord, but I don't think it'd be that difficult just to do one long rectangle and use that to make this rather than actually using the cord. I do quite like the way the cord looks on mine. So the nice thing about this particular jumpsuit is it comes in lots of different cup sizes, so if you've got a good sort of chest area to you, or you've got quite a small chest area to you, it's an A cup, B cup, C and D cup I think in this particular dress, and the sizing gives really good guidance. Jumpsuit, the sizing gives really good guidance on which one to make. Now for me, I went for a B cup because there isn't really that much difference between my high bust and my bust, so the B cup seemed the most practical, and actually the dart's in the right place and it fits me fine, and I will go into the detail of the fit a little bit more shortly. I chose to make mine in a size 14. Now my measurements are a 39 bust, a 33 waist and a 44 hip, and I thought that would be the most practical to give myself room to get in and out of. Now I have made this up. I am absolutely in love with the finished piece for this, but there is a couple of things that I will need to change for the next one. Now what I will say is this is such an easy sew, apart from the button holes that you have to contend with. It's the easiest jumpsuit I've made in a woven pattern. It just really is, because this is a facing. It's a facing that comes all the way down to here. The way that this is joined, because the casing is formed from the way you join the top from the bottom, it's a really straightforward sew. The pockets are nice and easy. You've got like a nice slanted pocket here. Yeah, I do recommend this pattern, guys. Absolutely friendly for beginners. The instructions hold your hand all the way through. So this is mine. This is made in a fabric that I got from the lovely Ruth, who is seamstress over here on YouTube and on Instagram. She has her own little shop called Shropshire Sews. I will link that down below, and if I can find the link for this particular fabric, if she's still got it in stock, I will link that too. This fabric is lovely and boho. It's a, you know, it is, I think it's a viscose crepe, but I'm sure she said it was a viscose, but it feels like a crepe kind of feeling. It's a lovely quality viscose. It's really nice to work with, and I wore it the other day and it was really, really comfortable. Now I made no adjustments on this pattern at all, and it fits me, and I'll pop some pictures in here so you can see how it fits. But what I will say is I probably need to go down a size in the top. I thought that the 14 would be best placed for me so I could get in and out of it, but because of the cup sizing, I can definitely go down a size in the top to have that slight fitted feeling, because just here it just gapes a little bit, and I think normally I would do a sway back, and I don't actually feel this needs a sway back. I feel like I need to go down a size in the top and grade out to this bit here and grade out to the 14. So as I'm going into this join, that's sort of a 14, so it meets that bottom perfectly. But other than that, the pattern was perfect, and I'll still get lots of wear out of this. I wore this to work. It felt really comfortable. The only thing I did slightly different from the pattern instructions, which I always do when I have a facing, your buttonholes and your buttons will hold this facing in place after you've done your understitching. That'll hold the front in absolutely fine, but I hate facing on the back, and I hate it popping out. So what I've done is just from the shoulder seam, I've come down and done an intentional stitch line on the facing, and actually I think that looks really, really smart on the back. Almost like a blousey type effect. I've popped one of my favourite labels in that I got from the Stitch Festival. It's a little Rosy Cheeks label that says "You are important, you are enough, and you matter." I love this particular label, and I love the fact that it's floral and felt. It went really well. And as I said, I used like a pull cord for mine rather than a piece of fabric, because there wasn't a pattern piece for it, and I'd bought this when I went to Thurklow at the beginning of the year to make up a pair of joggers, and I never ended up using it. I've also used some Jazz and Wow buttons. I thought that these were the perfect pink to match this pink just here. These went out in the advent calendar. There was a few different colours. There was, I think there was 4 or 5 in a pack, maybe 6 in a pack or something like that. But basically I had a pack left over, and I thought that's perfect. I have been recently looking at patterns that take sort of between 3 and 5 buttons, just to see, because some of the sets that I do are in 5s, and I thought that this is another perfect pattern because it takes 4, and if you're extra tall and you need to add a little bit of length in the body, it'd only take 5, so that would be perfect. But yeah, overall I'm really, really happy with this make. I think it looks fantastic. I had lots of compliments when I wore it to work. people couldn't believe that I'd actually made it, which was quite nice because it was such an easy sew. So I will link that pattern down below so you can go ahead and look, and I will link that fabric so you can go ahead and look and see what you think. But let me know your thoughts of it in the comments down below. Excuse the pictures of my hair though, because I had it up in like a top bun, but it looked really good. But when I did the pictures, it looked kind of all over the place. So yeah, excuse that. So what else have I been up to? Now, I have been doing a lot of resin over the past few weeks because the Jazz in Wow bloom boxes are being posted this weekend. So this morning this afternoon in my lunch break, I went round and posted the ones that were going out to America, Australia, New Zealand. So they've all gone out now. And then the ones in the UK will be posted across Saturday, Sunday and Monday, just because it makes it easier for me to get it round to the post office to do it over 3 days. But basically this means that if you're in the UK, you will receive your Jazz in Bloom box by Wednesday next week, which is perfect because I said they'd go out at the end of this month. And that has taken up a lot of time, but I've really enjoyed it. I've been packing them up every evening this week just so they're ready to go out, which is kind of exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how well received these particular boxes are. But in the background, I've also been slowly working my way through a new drop, which is now out on my shop this morning for you to go ahead and see. I have left some hints and shared some pictures of them across the week on my new Instagram page for Jazz and Wow. So hopefully you would have seen some of them, but I thought I would share them with you today because there's definitely a couple more buttons on there this time, which is quite nice. You will see when you go over to the shop, I have done a bit of a stock up as well. So some of my buttons that are always in stock are also on there too. So I have got these fantastic square buttons. How brilliant are these? They just remind me of, I don't know, of like a party in the garden. They're just so cute. They're basically made up of a mix of sort of pinks, blues and oranges, and I just think it gives a really lovely sort of effect. So these are 20mm buttons. They're kind of perfect for cardigans, skirts, that sort of thing, where you need a big sort of chunky button. So just to hold it up to give you some sort of context. But I love these. So these come in packs of 4. There's a limited amount of these, but they are on there, and yeah, if you like them, I will link my shop down below so you can go ahead and look at some of these. So I also did some mini versions of these. So it's square buttons, but they're in slightly different colours, and I've got 2 different colourways of these. We have a green, which has greens, oranges and blues in, and then we have this fabulous orange, yellow and pink, which I love this combination together. So again, they're square buttons and they're 15mm buttons, so they're your sort of typical size buttons that you would have for like a shirt or something like that. Again, they'd look great on a skirt, they'd look great on a jacket, but yeah, they're just some funky colours, and I've tried to give you 2 different colours because I know, and somebody made a comment once to me, that they'd love to buy stuff from me, but they can tell that I'm a winter because I'm attracted to bright things. So I've tried to kind of go, okay, that is very much the sort of thing that somebody who loves bright colours would pick, but these are just a little bit more toned down. They're called Garden Party, I think, if I remember rightly. So yeah, these are Sherbet Spots and these are Garden Party, but they're 2 more buttons that I have on my site at the moment. And then the final buttons, new buttons that have come out, as well as a stock up of some old buttons, are these ones here. Now, I shared a teaser of these at the beginning of the month to say that I was doing some buttons that had like flowers embedded in them. Now there is a real limited amount of these available because they are fully handmade. They don't have, the way I've done these, I've had to actually, you know, make them into buttons, and they take a couple of different pours. They take a lot of work to get these buttons done basically. So yeah, they are on there as well if there's something you're interested in. From a jewellery perspective, just sticking with the floral theme because my In Bloom got me very inspired, and these are a pair of earrings that have gone on. So these are slightly different hoops to what you normally see from me. So they've got kind of like they are a hoop, they're like a wing back, so that's the back of them and that's the front. These are silver plated and it hooks down into it. I really like the way that this looks. I think it's really pretty. And then you've got flowers embedded in there as well, which I think are just gorgeous. Now there's lots of different sort of variations of these with purples, yellows and greens that stuck with the same ones, but yeah, each individual one will be slightly unique, and just bear that in mind when you're ordering, because I haven't listed all the colours on there because it's just been whatever's been available, so each one will be slightly unique when you go ahead and order them. But yeah, they're lovely, really like them. Then something different for all of you animal lovers. I love these. So these are some hoop earrings. You can buy the charms or you can buy the hoops, and they're leopard print, little leopard print hearts. And then I've got sparkly little leopard print studs as well. So they're also been released today. And the final thing that I just want to share with you, there are a few other bits on there and I'll let you have a look. I have popped some new necklaces on. This is actually my one that I've kept because I really like this, but again with that sort of spring theme, it's just a little necklace with daisies embedded in the middle, but I think that's really cute, and it's a 20-inch necklace, so you can see, I'll just put it on for you so I can show you. You can see it just sits that little bit lower than other necklaces that I've done that tend to sit about here. So it's 20-inch, which is quite nice when you're wearing like a shirt or something like that, because it really stands out. This doesn't go at all with what I'm wearing, so I am going to take it off. So yeah, that is the necklace that I have put up as well today. And that's everything. That's everything that's gone on my shop anyway. So as I said, I have been doing lots of social things. I have my sewing social this weekend, which I'm really looking forward to, because I called off last month because I was so poorly. So I'm kind of hoping, I haven't seen anybody for ages, I've really missed them. I'm hoping that it's going to be a really good day. Because I haven't seen them for ages, there's part of me thinking, am I going to get lots of sewing done or am I going to be gassing? I don't know. But I'm in kind of like a jumpsuit craze at the moment, and between this jumpsuit and one other that's very similar but they've got subtle differences to them, this Jennifer Lauren Handmade jumpsuit, the Farris jumpsuit, has a wide leg, but Tilly and the Buttons has one that's very much the same across the front in the way that it's sort of a V-neck. It has 2 pockets on it. That's the difference with that particular one, although it wouldn't be too difficult to put pockets on this. It still has a button down, and then rather than the casing being where you attach it together, the casing's on the outside for your drawstring in the centre. And then the biggest difference is the fact that it has a tapered leg. I'll pop a picture of it in. This is the Alexa jumpsuit. So this is next on my list, and although I think this is ultimately going to be the one that works for me and suits me, because I do tend to have more shape in a wide leg, it proportions, well, it doesn't even proportion me out, because I'm not an hourglass. I'm like a slight pear shape. I'm ever so slightly bigger on my bottom than I am on my top. But I tend to find I prefer the shape of a wide leg jumpsuit. However, the jumpsuit that I'm wearing today, there's a thing about jumpsuits. This is the, if I can stand on this without killing myself, the Sirocco is a tapered leg. So you can see here, that's got a tapered leg to it, and I don't actually mind the way that gives me that shape, and with it having the drawstring in, I think I will quite like the way the Alexa looks. So my plan this weekend is to make that particular jumpsuit up. It was one of the only Tilly patterns that I didn't really own, and I ordered it a couple of weeks ago, sent it off for AO printing, and it has been delivered. So I'm thinking that's my plan for this weekend. Now, from a fabric perspective, I just need to move this out the way. I'm thinking of using this one, so another viscose, but I really want to use this because it's been languishing in my stash, and I saw the lovely Emma from So Do It Emma had made up a gorgeous top in this fabric, and it looked fantastic on her, and I've got a real hankering to use this. Now, I was thinking a lovely floaty sort of hope dress or something like that, because having seen the Northern Soul Sisters, 2 of them had their hope dresses on, it made me realise how much I loved that pattern and how I really need to make it in a size that will fit me now, because I have none any longer in rotation in my wardrobe because they just don't fit. So that was my original intention with this, but I'm thinking the Alexa jumpsuit would work really nicely with this viscose. And yeah, it would just be lovely and patterny. I did try and look patterny. Is that even a word, patterny? I did look through because I think it would also look great in like a chambray or something like that. I just don't have anything of that length in my wardrobe. The only other fabric that I kind of considered could be a possibility, but this viscose is very, very lightweight, is this one here, which again is gorgeous. I'd have to be careful with the placement over the boobage area, wouldn't I, because we don't want that going on. But yeah, this was another option, but it's very lightweight, and although we're coming into spring, we're getting, you know, feeling that sort of warmer air coming through, I want to be able to wear this, and I just think that this is going to be the most sensible option. And I've seen lots of tops, dresses, floaty sort of garments made in this. The Alexa is something different, so I'm pretty much set on this, but I could still change my mind and come back to you next week and say that I did something completely different, because hey, this is me. Now, the other thing that I would like to have a chance to do, if I can, is make up my So Confident box from this month. Now, I never got around to making up my shacket from last month. I'm not entirely sure that I want to make the seafoam shacket, which I got in last month's box. And having seen lots go up, I'm just not 100% sure that style is for me. But that's not to say that that needle cord won't get used and utilised, because it's a navy, it's in my wardrobe. I'd probably make an Ilford jacket. That seems more my cup of tea if I was going to have like an overcoat on or another spindrift. Anyway, digressing already. I've had this month's through, and it was a gorgeous alpine fleece that came in, and it's a lovely white colour. I'm not going to get it out to show you, but I really, really like it. And the pattern that came with it is the jasmine jumper. Now, if I've got a picture of it, I'll stick it in here. But the jasmine jumper is essentially a raglan v-neck, which I think is slightly different to what's out there. There's lots of raglan jumpers about. You've got the Tilly and the Buttons Drew jumper. So over it released the Holly jumper, which was a raglan sleeve top as well. There's been a couple of other raglans that I've seen, but this is the first one where it's got this lovely v-neck with it. And it came with some sort of green and red elastic that you could use for the V. But I actually think I've got some lovely red ribbing that I think would go really nice against that white, and it would just be another colour that really suits me. I'm conscious that the lighting is getting darker as we speak because of the time, so apologies about that. So yeah, I think that would be another thing I'd really, really like to get done. The final thing that I will have, and I can't show you yet because I started it ages ago, but I'm planning on showing you next Friday by the time everybody would have then received their Jazz in Bloom boxes, the patina blouse that I have made, which includes some of the buttons from this month's Jazz in Bloom box. Now, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think I'm going to have some leftover Jazz in Bloom mixed boxes. I have got 40 more to pack up. So I have packed up an awful lot so far. I've literally got piles. This is one lot. These are button ones. I've got literally all my collection. It's at the top are like full of Jazz in Bloom boxes. And I was doing a recce this morning, and I realised that there is some left. So I think, providing there is enough of the earrings, which is the only thing I haven't checked, I might actually have some Jazz in Bloom boxes left. Now, my intention is tomorrow evening to get the last of them all packed up, so I will know by Saturday evening whether I have any Jazz in Bloom boxes left. And if I do, I will let everybody know on Instagram. And pop a little note out in my story, so just keep an eye out. If you missed out and it's something you still want, I will put up any that I have left. It will probably only be a handful that I have, but I will pop them up if anybody still wants them. So yeah, keep an eye on my Jazz and Wow Instagram, and if you're not following my new Jazz and Wow Instagram page, go over and follow it, because I lost my last one, which is Jazz and Wow Handmade. So yeah, just pop over, follow that. I will leave the link down below for that, because it's an immediate way of me getting information out to you that's not via YouTube. So that's my plans. That's what I've been up to. I've not been buying anything outside of what I bought at the Stitch Festival and showed you last week. So I think that is enough for a catch up this week, guys. I will let you know how I get on. I will hopefully have some lovely things to share with you next week, and I will see you then. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. Take care, guys. Happy sewing, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.